A few months ago, I paused my Zwift membership so that I could try some other apps. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 4 Zwift alternatives for riding indoors. Now, just a note here, I've only tried these with a smart trainer. I know some will work with a regular trainer and sensors, but just wanted to put that out there. There are 3 main things you do with indoor riding apps, and that is just getting out and riding, doing group events or races, and then doing structured intervals. Not all of the apps that I share with you are going to do all 3 of those, but some of them I think do them a little bit better than Zwift. As I go over these, I'm just going to do kind of a high-level summary. I'll talk about the features, some things that I like, and some things that I don't like. I'll probably follow up this video with some more in-depth reviews on each of these that I share in this video. One of the apps that I share with you is a graphics app like Zwift. The other 3 are actual footage of riding. So I'll start with the graphics one first, and that is RGT, which stands for Road Grand Tours. I think they've recently changed the name to RGT. So RGT is like Zwift in that it is all computer graphics. There is no real footage of the riding. However, one thing that I do like about RGT is the graphics look a little bit more realistic, a little bit less game looking like Zwift, which I actually like. RGT is a little unique in that you have to have 2 devices. So you have a screen device and then you have your phone, which is the controller. I actually don't mind that because I really like having my phone nearby so I can control the app. For the screen, you can use Apple TV, you can use a laptop, or you can use an iPad. And then of course for the controller, you use your phone. And what you do is you go into your phone and pair it with your screen with a code. RGT offers more routes that you can choose at one time. Typically on Zwift, you can choose 2 or 3. RGT is based on real roads. For example, the Stelvio Pass, you've got a route in Belgium, you've got one in the UK, you've got one in Germany, one in Spain, Borrego Springs in the United States, Pienza, Italy, in Mont Ventoux, France. Not only do the graphics look a little bit more realistic in RGT, but also drafting is a little bit more realistic, which makes the racing a little bit more realistic, in my opinion, than Zwift. For example, in Zwift, it's kind of just like one mob of riders, and if you lose that mob, you kind of get dropped. Whereas RGT, there's a little graphic that gives you a little bit more information about drafting, and again, it just seems a little bit more realistic. Also, when cornering, it's a little bit more realistic. On Zwift, when you're flying down a mountain at 45 miles an hour, the rider does not slow down at all. On RGT, the rider does slow down. Something else that I like about RGT is you can remove all of the graphics on the screen so that all you have is the riding footage. And you can also change different camera angles. So you can have the POV view, which is what I like to use, and then you can also have like a drone footage. You can have a race cam, all different kind of camera angles while you're riding. If you like doing structured intervals, RGT has a nice selection of workouts that I think is organized pretty well. For example, you've got recovery at the top, you've got endurance, and then it gets into threshold, and then VO2 max, and it's got a nice selection of each one of those, and there's anaerobic workouts. So you can choose from those. Now you cannot create your own workouts within the app. You have to import them from other apps such as Training Peaks. Also, there are no workout plans that you would follow for multiple weeks like you have on Zwift. One thing very unique about RGT, like I said, it's based on real roads, and you can actually send them something like a GPX file of your own ride, and they will import that, and they have it in what's called magic roads. Now, I have not done that yet. When I do my full review of RGT, I will try that, and I'll let you know how it works. Something else that you can do with RGT that, again, I have not tried yet, but I'll probably do this before I do the full review, is you can create custom events. You can also ride with people. So if another friend has RGT, you can hook up for a ride. Now, just a note here, I have a Saurus H2 smart trainer, and I could not get RGT to work with Bluetooth from my laptop, so I had to use an Ant Plus dongle, which was no big deal. I had this, I actually hadn't used it until RGT. I just got it for Zwift and never needed it. Now, I have a friend who has a Wahoo Kicker, and the Bluetooth worked fine on that, so just wanted to mention that. You can also do racing on RGT. The races are not as frequent as Zwift, and so that's kind of the downside to RGT versus Zwift, in the fact that there are simply just less people that use it. You could get on Zwift sometimes and see 1,000 people riding Zwift. You're not going to see near that many. Some people may actually like that, and if you want to use a graphics app versus kind of a real roads app, and you just want to get out and ride and take all the graphics off the screen and things like that that I mentioned, then I think you would really like RGT. Now, I think RGT is the only app that I'll mention in this video where there is a totally free version. The other ones will offer a free trial period, like 14 or 30 days, but RGT, there is a completely free version. There's also a premium version, and I'll talk about the differences when I go over RGT in a full review. Now let's go into the apps that are real riding, and I really like these. If I just want to get out and ride, maybe I want to see places in other parts of the world that I don't usually get to ride. The first one is KenoMap. KenoMap is unique in that it takes ride footage that other people can upload, so you can see where people ride in Germany or France or all over the world, which I really like. There are a ton of routes on KenoMap, over 1,000. Now, KenoMap runs off of your phone or iPad, so you wouldn't use it on your laptop like some of the other ones. However, you can open up a browser and link it to your laptop so that you can show it on a big screen. So what I do is I have my laptop hooked up to a big screen to my TV, and again, when I use that code and link the mobile app to the laptop or the PC, then you can see it on the big screen, which I think is really cool because, again, like RGT, you can have the phone nearby so you can control the screen right from your phone. Because there are so many routes in KenoMap, it helps to use the filter, and I find that pretty useful because you can search by distance, you can search by duration, you can also search by video quality. And that actually brings up one of the negatives to KenoMap, is that the video quality is not as good as the other two real road riding apps that I'll share after this. So because you've got so many people uploading videos, you've got different cameras, and I've noticed that some of them are not as stabilized as I would like to see them. So again, because you've got all these riders uploading, it's going to be a little bit hit or miss if you like really good video quality. You can set the video to play in what KenoMap calls discovery mode or challenge mode. Discovery mode will have the video play at the same speed it was shot, whereas challenge mode will speed up or slow down the video depending on how much power you're putting out. The issue with challenge mode is unless you're pushing pretty hard in some sections, the video can really slow down, making it look unrealistic and the frame rates look a little choppy. And by the way, that's actually one advantage of a graphics-based app like RGT or Zwift, and that is the frame rate is the same whether you're going really fast or really slow. You can also turn off the maps and the charts within KenoMap while you're riding, which, like RGT, is something that I find pretty beneficial. And like RGT, you can also upload your own routes. Now, again, this is not something I've tried yet, but if I do a full review on KenoMap, I definitely want to try this, shoot it really smooth on some of my local gravel roads with my GoPro Hero 8, and see it on KenoMap. Now, both RGT and KenoMap will upload to apps like Strava when you're done. Now, just a note about that is if you're riding in discovery mode, again, where the video is playing at the same rate it was shot, no matter how hard you're pedaling, then your ride will upload to Strava based on time, not distance. Whereas if you're riding in the challenge mode, then it will upload the map so you can see where you rode, and it will upload it based on distance. I believe that KenoMap offers a free trial, but if you want to continue this subscription, it's $9.99 per month, or you can do an annual subscription, which gets it down to around, I think, like $7.99 per month. The next app is also a real road riding app, one that I've really come to like because of the quality of the videos, and that is FullGas, or FullGas if you say it like it's spelled. Now I'm going to call it FullGas, and in this app, the videos are a little bit higher quality, a little bit smoother than a lot of the ones that you find in KenoMap, and it's also a POV, so it looks like you're really riding. And there are lots of settings in FullGas, which I'm not really going to go over until I do a more in-depth review of the app. Like KenoMap, you can have the videos play in a more realistic speed, depending on how much power you're putting out, and they call that reactive mode. And steady mode will play the video back at the speed it was shot, no matter how hard you're pedaling. FullGas also offers workouts, which are structured intervals like RGT. I found that the workout menu is not laid out quite as neatly as RGT, but there are quite a few that you can do. One thing that I like about FullGas is you can stop your ride and resume it later. So if you're halfway up Mont Ventoux and you don't want to waste your efforts and you want to get back to it maybe the next day or later on that day, then you can stop it and it'll pick it back up. Also, you can download the routes to your computer for a smoother playback, which is especially helpful if you don't have a strong Wi-Fi connection. For the most part, I've really enjoyed using FullGas. I like the quality of the videos, how smooth they are, just getting out and riding roads that I've never done before, doing climbs that I've never done before, having it adjust the smart trainer depending on the gradient, which all of the apps that I'm talking about do that. It has been a little bit glitchy from time to time. For example, a lot of times when I start pedaling, it takes about 15 or 20 seconds for the video to start moving. I'm going to try some things before I do my full review to see if maybe it's how far the laptop is from the smart trainer. FullGas does have a 14-day free trial. After that, it is $12.99 per month, or there is an annual subscription for $109 per year. The fourth and final app that I'll talk about is Rouvy, which is actually one of the most unique ones out there because it is augmented reality. It is video shot in real roads, but throws in computer graphics as an overlay, for example, signs and banners, and then avatars if you're riding with other people or racing. What I like most about Rouvy is how smooth and how high quality the videos are. It's almost like they were shot on a stabilizer. Now the downside for me to Rouvy is the fact that there is no steady mode as FullGas calls it, or discovery mode as KenoMap calls it. There is only the reactive mode where it's based on your effort. So if you're not putting out a lot of effort on some climbs, the video will slow down and look a little unrealistic. Now what I mean by unrealistic is you might have cars that are going by super slowly or people that are walking really slowly. Also, the videos to me look like they were shot on a motorcycle because when the gradient goes up, the video doesn't slow down as much as it would on a cyclist. And because of that, unless you're putting out like 600 watts on some of the climbs, it'll slow down, and if you see a car coming by again, it'll look a little unrealistic. In Rouvy, you can also change the camera angles in the settings, so it can be the POV, which is what I like. I like to make it look as realistic as possible, or you can see your avatar near or far. Just a note here that there is no Ant Plus connection available currently with Rouvy. They say it's coming. You can run Rouvy from your iPhone, from your iPad, from a computer, so there's lots of different ways to run it. Now, if you're running it from your phone, I suggest a way to hook it up to a big TV because, of course, it's not very realistic to be looking at such a small screen. Now, you may know this, but if you connect it from an iPad with an HDMI cable, you're going to have black bars on the side, so it's almost better to use a phone. Now, I use a laptop with an HDMI cable and it works very well. The downside to the laptop is the fact that you really need to have the laptop nearby. I have the laptop kind of far. I have to get off the bike to start the ride. There are races in Rouvy, so you can race again on real roads with avatars. Now, from what I understand, there is no drafting like you would have in RGT. I have not tried the racing yet. That is something that I'm going to do before I do my full review on Rouvy. So those are 4 indoor riding apps that can be an alternative to Zwift. I know there's a lot more out there, but those are the 4 that I researched and I felt were at the top of my list based on the features that they offered. So each of them have their advantages and disadvantages, and I'll go into those again more in detail as I do a full review on each of the apps. Also, when I do the reviews, I'll talk about the displays that are on the screen because each of them have a little bit different displays. For example, I really like the graphic at the bottom of Rouvy that shows the elevation change broken down into each of the gradients. If you've tried any of these apps, leave in the comments below what you think about them, or if there's others that I haven't mentioned, drop those in the comments below as well. Thanks for watching.